Big Bro's not just gorgeous, he likes it wild too. Dropped a few $100 million on a top-tier alpha just to keep him as a pet. Also, he could watch the highest class crawl at his feet. I'm saying, Big Bro, you sure you won't get burned playing with fire? Big Bro's loaded, good-looking, and ruthless to boot. Got a whole crew following him around. People on the streets call him President Park. Today he went to deal with some guy who owes him money. The old man kept begging, give him some time and he'd scrape the cash together. Everyone says that when the debt collectors come knock. But from what he knows, the old man's company is going belly up. No way he can pay him back. If he can't pay up, he suggests using his daughter to settle the debt. His daughter's in Omega. Keep her in line for 10 years and the debt's covered. That hit a nerve. The old man started cursing him out. I hear you're an Omega yourself, right? They say you're an Omega, but you don't even have a hint of pheromones. But someone as tall and cold-hearted as you. Even if you're not an alpha, you gotta be a beta, right? You got to where you are today. Did you do it like those Omegas you sell off? Selling yourself to climb the ladder. Now that you've got nothing left to sell. You're going after your own kind, huh? Before the old man could keep going, he saw President Park with a knife walking towards him with a dark look on his face. That's when he remembered who the monster in front of him was. Terrified, he begged for mercy. Too bad, too late. Nothing he says matters now. Afterward, President Park couldn't calm down. But not because he just ended someone's life. He really is an Omega. A broken Omega without even a trace of pheromones. It's a memory that cuts deep just thinking about it. His assistant stepped forward, interrupting his thought. Another Omega in debt committed suicide today. Hearing that, President Park froze for a second. Turns out this Omega had a son. He coldly gave the order. Before he runs off, bring him to me now. His crew works fast. Before long, a tall guy gets shoved in front of President Park. The moment President Park saw him, he started sizing him up. Nothing like what he imagined. Nothing like that Omega either. And since he walked in, there's this scent that's been making him uneasy. But it's kind of intoxicating, lingering around him. He walked up and grabbed the guy by the collar. One yank and the guy was on his feet. You're an alpha, aren't you? Never thought that Omega would have a son like you. That comment made the guy think of his mother. Why were you even born into a family like mine? You should have been born into a better family. I never should have had you. He laughed bitterly. Aren't you just some Omega who goes crazy around office? After he said that, the office went dead silent. Like the calm before a storm. President Park asked, unsure, what did you say? Because only a handful of people know he's an Omega. The guy said, you have a scent, or am I wrong? His men were about to teach him a lesson, but President Park stopped. He let go of the guy and turned to look at the loan contract. Does he have a scent? Is he imagining things? If he's just guessing, that doesn't make sense. But if you really can smell something on him, that makes even less sense. Spent a few $100 million on an alpha. Might as well get his money's worth. First things first, strip. Train him into his personal little pet. President Park just wanted his money back at first. But one comment changed his mind. Can this alpha really sense something from him? You know about your father's deaths, right? The guy acted like he didn't care. Yeah, plenty of them. But when he heard 600 million, he couldn't believe it. How could it possibly be that much? You're lying. President Park laughed. Sure, I got a bad rep on the streets, but I don't need to scam dead people for cash. You know how it goes, the longer you're in this business, the less you're worth. At first, it was just to raise the only son. Then lost track, got hooked on drugs. Then started gambling. So, yeah, you're innocent, but a son pays his father's debts, that's the rule. The guy clenched his fists. What do I gotta do? Tell me, you brought me here, so you must have a plan. President Park sneered. Even if you worked yourself to death, you might cover proof. But the interest keeps piling up. But hey, I'm not some heartless loan shark. He picked up the loan contract and thought, this is way too fun. How could I possibly let him go? In a flash, he ripped the contract to shreds. You're 600 million debt, I'll take. But you're gonna pay me back in your own way. Sell yourself to me. The guy couldn't keep up. What, you wanna buy me? President Park didn't mind spelling it out. What is what I said hard to understand? Dawang, you belong to me. Got it. Seeing no objection, he gave the order. First, strip. Everything top to bottom, underwear too. Knowing what Big Bro was about to do, all the crew quickly cleared out. Even though he's their boss, they still cracked jokes about this. Only one guy looked like he'd swallowed something nasty. Stood at the door refusing to leave. Inside, the guy resigned himself to servicing Big Bro. But Big Bro wasn't satisfied. This sent the guy at zero reaction. Did he just drop a few $100 million on a useless alpha? That'd make him a total chump. But looking at him, he doesn't seem broken. Maybe he's turned off because there's no pheromone. What a brat who needs training. He's not into forcing people. He walked out of the office and found his assistant standing guard at the. Assistant Yoon likes watching live action now. The assistant's face turned red as he apologized. President Park cut him off. You got one of those chains for big dogs. About this big. Just grab one that's about the right size. He couldn't wait to see what a high and mighty alpha would look like in a dog collar. What would a high and mighty alpha look like in a dog collar? Big Bro really wanted to know, so he made it happen. The crew quickly got the collar like Big Bro asked. The guy got dragged out right away. They forced the collar on him, despite his struggle. When the crew handed the leash to Big Bro couldn't be happy. It's perfect on him. Who would have thought the so-called highest class, looking down on all the betas and omegas, would be naked, kneeling in front of me, wearing a collar like some dog. The guy didn't look humiliated or beg for mercy. Instead, he laughed at what he heard. At first I thought you were just some psycho pervert. Turns out you're paranoid and totally insecure. But either way, don't you think you're pathetic? That hit a nerve. Big bro was furious. He tried moving past that time in his life. But even when he threw himself at a bait, but they still rejected him for not having pheromones. Total buzzking. That incident didn't just hurt him physically. It left permanent psychological scars. Made him deeply anxious and insecure. Turned him cruel and bloodthirsty. He yanked the chain hard. The guy got pulled right up to him. He grabbed the guy by the throat. Seems you still don't get the situation you're in. That's okay, I'll teach you slowly. First, open your mouth. When the guy didn't cooperate, Big Bro forced his mouth open. What you should be thinking about is how to keep this psycho pervert happy. He shoved a pill into the guy's mouth. Watched him swallow it. He cheerfully warned him, remember, don't hold back, or you might blow something inside. Then he told his crew to tie the guy's hands up tight. Now the guy finally started to panic, but he still tried to act. I might disappoint you. You'd be better off selling my kidneys for a bigger profit. Big Bro was pleased with his reaction. Let's see how long your confidence lasts. You alphas think you're so superior, right? Let's see just how disgusting you really are. Soon, pheromones filled the whole room. Watching the alpha trying so hard to control himself. Not defective at all, actually perfect. Soon the guy couldn't hold out anymore. In a daze, he walked towards him. Buried his face in his neck. Oh, smells so good, so sweet. Then suddenly he looked sad. Teacher, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Hearing that, Big Bro quickly dropped the guy and left the room. You smell so good. Is that real? Can you really smell something on here? He told his men to dig into Seo Taeyeon's past. Who's this teacher he keeps talking about? Quality alpha, but no one knows who the father is. No matter how hard they dug, they couldn't find anything. Who's Seo Taeyeon's father? Only thing they know for sure is he's definitely an alpha. Big Bro figured it'd turn out this way. Even Seo Sai probably doesn't know which client it was. And not just any alpha, but a top tier one. That kind of alpha's gotta have serious status in society. No way they'd leave any paper trail on something like this. What Big Bro can't figure out is, why would someone in that line of work keep a client's kid? What's the reason? Going through all that hardship to keep the kid. Now she's dead. No one knows the answer. Big Bro tossed the file aside. None of that matters now. To avoid any surprises, draw me up a formal contract. Assistant Yoon could tell he was set on keeping Seo Tae. He immediately tried to stop him. President Director Choi already know. Seeing Big Bro looking at him, he nervously explained. I'm sorry, I had no choice. I have to report everything to him. Big Bro scoffed. Reporting is your job, you have to do it. Assistant Yoon was never my guy anyway. Assistant Yoon wanted to explain that's not how it is. Big Bro didn't want to hear his excuses. That person always knows everything about him anyway. Why can't he ever escape that disgusting scumbag? Big Bro's mood instantly soared. He quickly went looking for his alpha pet. But he'd been standing there forever and the pup didn't even try to please him. He just looked annoyed to see him. Big Bro grabbed him by the throat, pissed. Threw him onto the bed behind him. Then climbed on top and pinned him down. Ordered him to release your pheromones. Seo Tae-yoon wasn't going to. But seeing President Park's sad expression, the whole room instantly filled with an intense scent. Big Bro's not into forcing people. But borrowing some pheromones to take care of himself, that's fine. Seo Tae-yeon watched President Park's solo performance. Mocked him. Are all you Omegas this desperate? But seeing Big Bro clearly in pain, he reached out to help without thinking. With the two of them working together, Big Bro finished quick. Seeing the alpha he'd made a mess of, he was thrilled. Sure, he didn't seal the deal. But Big Bro still got what he wanted by taking matters into his own hands. Even the crew noticed Big Bro's obvious change. Today Big Bro looks radiant. Something good must have happened. It had been forever since he'd let loose like that. Big Bro felt more relaxed than ever. This morning the first thing he saw when he opened his eyes was the pup sleeping beside him. Looked like he was sleeping sound. Soon as they finished last night he passed out. Too bad they didn't actually do the deed. Honestly, that guy's pheromones are really something. Gotta find a way to seal the deal. When President Park got to the club, some punk near the entrance was harassing an Omega from inside. Snatched the tips little Omega just earned. Said he'd give it back if little Omega gave him a treat. Little Omega obviously didn't want to, it was his money. Isn't that just part of what you guys do?